good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Sorry, we're just a minute or two late. We had a few tech issues on the front side, but with live, you always have something happening. As you're coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you? How was your weekend? All the good stuff. And quickly letting you know, I have to admit it, when there's tech issues, you get a little stressed, so hopefully I won't forget anything as we're going. But what are we going to talk about today? I have a special guest, and we're going to be talking about something that has probably been my number one struggle as an entrepreneur over the years: messaging. Like, we have literally 3 to 5 seconds to capture interest and let our person know that we're their person, and it's very hard to, I think it's definitely been one of my bigger struggles, to narrow your message down, focus it so that your person knows in 3 to 5 seconds when they land on your webpage, or when you're physically introducing yourself, what it is that you do and how you can help them. And so I was actually on our guest Ryan's podcast not long ago, and it really resonated with me in the sense that I realized, reinforced the fact that this is hard. This stuff is very hard to nail down. So if you guys are feeling that, I'm just looking to make sure. It looks like I think we're live. All right, hang on. I'm pretty sure we're live. Give me a second here. I see some numbers in the corner, but if you can hear me or see me, hey, will you drop a comment in just to let us know that we are actually live? Okay, it looks like we may not be live in all the places. So, you know what? What to do? We might have missed our window. I tell you what, Ryan, you know what? I think, okay, so I see some. All right, good. We're just going to go with it because I know we're live. All right, so LinkedIn is saying we're live. I see that Twitter is saying we're live. Excellent. Okay, all right. Tech issues, you never know. So we're not live on Facebook, but everywhere else it looks like we're okay. So we're just going to go with it, and it's going to be what it is today. Those of you who are with us live, you're going to love it. You're going to get so much value out of this. If you're watching on the replay, you're also going to be incredibly blessed. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to drop in #replay just so that I can say, hey. And real quick, if you've never been on one of my shows before, let me introduce myself. My name is Kim Garst. I am an online business strategist, which is a fancy way of saying I love to help people make more money online. Their businesses help them thrive, shorten their learning curves, take the complex and make it simple, all those things. I said it fast because I couldn't say it in 2 words. So, but hopefully before we leave today, you're going to have a better handle on your messaging and know that it's super powerful and super important. And even if you don't have it down, you'll know that you need to focus on it, how to go about figuring it out for yourself. All right, so a couple of quick things. We do giveaways on every one of our shows. Now, we just happen to have a super talented guest today. Now, this guest is not only amazing at what he does, which is branding and helping others succinctly tell their people what it is that they do, but he is really a talented little artist, and we're going to do some fun things. So whatever he does, we're going to give it away. So, meaning we're going to put it, whatever he draws, on a mug and send it to 2 people. So there's going to be 2 winners today. And the way that you win is you have to drop in your aha moments. Okay. So if you have you hear something and you're like, oh, that's so good, I needed to know that. Or you knew it, but you needed to hear it again. You know how that happens to us. Sometimes we know things, but we're like, yeah, I needed that. I needed it again. So actually this way. I always get my fingers mixed up. Drop in your aha moments. That's how we choose our winners. If you drop them in, we put you in this little wheel, and at the end of the show, we'll pull out our winners. Okay. Also, quickly letting you guys know that if you know somebody that's struggling with their branding, um, you know, tag them down under and or sprinkle this out into the world. Also, if you hear something you love, don't forget to drop in those little emojis because we love those too. We can see them float through float around the screen, and it's always great to see those come through. All right, so one last little housekeeping thing before we get to our guest. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor. Our sponsor is the amazing RESTREAM, the platform that I'm using right now to go live. Now, this is my new go-to platform for live streaming to multiple social media channels at the same time. So one block at a time in all the places. So right now we are live, unfortunately not on Facebook, but normally we're live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. They have a super easy to use interface for doing cool transitions, bringing comments up and customized text on the screen, and seamlessly bringing on your guest. You can also brand your live shows with cool show overlays, logos, and even pull in custom graphics. Like you probably saw me pull in a couple of custom graphics. This is the perfect platform for new and experienced creators alike. You can use the link that we have in the comments to sign up for free and to get $10 off of your first month. So definitely check them out. It's let me put it up on the screen real quick for you, just so that, hang on just a second. Here we go. Go to kimgarst.com/restream. We would love for you to check them out. Okay, so let me introduce our special guest today, you guys. I met Ryan through a mutual friend, a mutual brand we were both working with, but he is a high energy speaker, an author, a consultant who specializes in helping leaders harness the power of authenticity by teaching them how to create content that reveals their whole self to drive differentiation, growth, and loyalty. His 3-1-3 method, which we're going to talk about today, uncovers core brand messaging to guide the branding strategies that we need in our businesses. In his book, Ditch the Act, Ryan shares the art of being perfectly imperfect. Ryan is a 4-time TEDx speaker. Oh, so are we super blessed or what? And he's been featured in Forbes, Fortune, Inc., Entrepreneur, and more. And for fun, he sails, draws stick figures, hint, 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 and he raps. Do you think we could get him to rap for us? So what do you say? Are you up for rapping with us? Or giving us a rap? Singing us a rap. There you go. I said it right that time. Your sound's off, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that you see that there's tech issues on my side as well. Okay. Secretly, I'm probably the tech issue.
No, you are fine. No, I'm so excited that you're here. So thanks. I know it's super early where you are, right? It's West Coast time?
Yeah, West Coast for sure. But you know, this is like a visual cup of coffee, just like a rap is an audio cup of coffee. And to cover my bases, I have a real cup of coffee. So we're good.
I love it. I love it. Well, that is excellent. Excellent. So you got a rap, a little one that you could...
Sure. Yeah. So if we're going to talk about the 313, then we can warm up with a little bit of 313 rapping.
Let's do this.
So if you've got an idea, why don't you bring it right here? If you want to change the world, I'd love to hear. It could be big, or it could be small, or it could be for profit, or not at all. But when I ask you what you do you ramble like a babbling fool? Do you talk so fast that you're blue in the face? Is your big idea all over the place? Do you say the same thing every time? Do you bore investors out of their mind? You might even do it and you might not even know it. Your startup hasn't started. All you want to do is grow it. And every time you open up your mouth, you seem to blow it. You wish there was a method or a way you could control it. Well, have no fear. The 313's here. It will make your message clear. First, you state the problem. Then you say you solve it. And don't forget the market.
Oh my gosh. Mic drop. That is so awesome. So awesome.
Might have
Um,
been the earliest rap right out of the gates, but I think you got it.
that is so, I need a skill like that. So seriously, that is incredible. Y'all, do I know the coolest people or what? Like, a few years back when I had one of my live events, my friend Josh Parkinson, um, started this kind of trend to be the best entertainment at my event. And so then it became a competition between the speakers as to who was going to have the best, like, intro. So much fun. We had so many cool, like, clever, like, I found out speakers did things that I had no idea they did. It was very fun and everybody loved it. So Paula's saying that is awesome, Ryan. Rhonda's saying that was great.
We got some aha rapping going on. So there we go. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And we got some emojis going on too there. So
And at the end of the
excellent.
day, if you think about it, rapping is just another way of communicating.
Yeah.
Singing is communicating. Drawing is communicating. In fact, you can't not communicate. And so I'm excited today to talk about communication, whether you're rapping your idea, whether you're writing about your idea, or whether you're trying to create pictures for your idea. At the end of the day, the most important thing you can do is help others understand your idea. And when you keep in mind that different audiences take in information different ways, you can craft something that is a little bit more fun. And if you can get people to laugh, there's a good chance you'll get them to remember you just a little bit more, even if they're laughing at you.
Yes. So I've often said that if you can make people laugh or cry, you got them. Because pulling in that emotion, I think is super powerful. That's why stories are so powerful, right? So, well, can you share a little bit about, like, obviously you're creative, and you've brought that creative energy to your brand, and you leveraging the power of that creativity. But, like, how did you get started on this journey? I mean, what started you in the direction of branding and helping others figure this part out?
Well, first, things usually start out selfishly, and that's still the case here, where I was building businesses, trying to create companies. I was very successful at starting them, growing them, and also successful at running them into the ground. And so, as a serial entrepreneur, one thing that I realized was one of the most important tools in my tool bag was my ability to communicate ideas in a way that got people interested in them. And I think that the real epiphany for me when it comes to the 313 is that there's this core understanding I've realized, and it's that people don't actually care what you do. They don't care what I do. They don't care just as much as I don't really care about what other people do. But I think they care more about the problems that I'm solving, and I'm more interested in the problems that other people are solving. Now, just time out. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't care about people. Okay, I think we should all love each other. This is a time in the world where we need more inclusivity and diversity and inclusion and just love in general. So I'm not trying to be a jerk saying I don't care what you do, but I'm trying to be realistic and helping you understand the foundation of how I got so excited about messaging. And the reality is that we always ask people, what do you do? And then the person tells us what they do. And we kind of half listen, hoping that they'll ask us what we do. And then we tell them what we do. And then we know that they're kind of half listening because their eyes are wandering. And then unless there's a perfect match, you sort of move on to the next. And that's the classic networking. So where this material really started to get traction is when I was working at the University of California, Irvine, which I'm still working there, when I got brought on to launch their undergraduate entrepreneurship program, which we called the Entrepreneur Center because we were anteaters. And when you're dealing with students who are super excited about their idea, and you sit them down and you go, okay, tell me about your idea. They go like this. It's just like you can imagine everything that's going on in their head, and they're so excited. They just want to give you all the information. And just from a practical standpoint, I had students lining up out the door, and I wanted to make sure I was able to have meaningful meetings that were not just them telling me what they did. So I tried to shorten the amount of time that they would explain their initial idea. And I would say, can you explain that, or can you explain your idea in the shortest amount of time possible? And they go, and they would just, there's really no movement of the needle when they would explain their idea. And so I tried another route. I said, look, let's play a little game. Don't tell me what you do, but tell me about the problem that your company solves. And they would just stare at me blankly and go, huh? Then they'd likely tell me what they did. And so I got into this rhythm of asking particular questions, three of them. What problem do you solve? What is your solution? And who is your market? Now, for anybody who's ever done any type of business, like that's not rocket science. But the reason I ask these questions is because they are the most simple things that I need to understand the business. And simple does not mean easy. When you try to pull apart all of this messaging and just tell me the problem that you solve without any mention of what you do, and then your solution as a standalone and defining your market, honestly, it's one of the hardest things ever. And so that's where I realized that there was a significant amount of traction to be made and a really an opportunity to help people significantly in a short amount of time by just helping them craft their core messaging. Because everything starts from
So
there.
good. Everything starts from there. It's certainly been one of my biggest struggles over the years, and I've had numerous businesses. And as you know, we just spoke about this, and because I do so many things and I can help in so many ways, it's been hard to narrow that messaging down. And I'm just curious for those that are watching or listening. Feel free to answer those three questions if you can. And if you can't, that's okay, but write them down
Well,
because,
here's a good way to do it
okay.
is just the problem. So the challenge for anybody watching in the chat, can you state in a chat in one sentence the problem that you solve without any mention of what you do?
Yes, I love that.
That is usually a good representation of how core your messaging is.
So when Ryan and I was talking about this, you can't use the word help or what was it? What was another?
Well,
You can't
any
say help.
indication of
Hmm.
what you're doing.
Hmm.
And when I was just listening to your intro, you talked about all the stuff that you do.
Yes.
You
Again.
there was never a moment where you said, if you have this problem, I solve it.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
intuitively, you might say, I help you with this, and this, and you might think like, oh, maybe I need help with that. But again, people, I think fundamentally, when they hear this is what I do, or I'm a social media strategist, you are playing against all of the ingrained information they already have in their brain about that title.
Yes.
And so you sometimes lose interest by the brand halo of your job title or your industry because people have so much preconceived notions about it.
Yeah.
And so if you can purely explain the problem that you solve and get people interested in the problem, then you can get them interested in what your solution would be without even telling them what your solution is.
Because if they have the problem, they're going to self-identify in, which is
Yeah,
kind
and
of
they're not as concerned about how you're going to help me, right? I
yeah.
don't need to know how my
Right.
Fitbit works.
Yes.
I just need my Fitbit.
Exactly. You need it to work, right? So that is something that has been a struggle. The articulation piece is something I'm still like working to refine. We're getting to a place where the website's in better shape, but it's still not quite there. We're still. I guess the thing that is kind of an interesting. I don't know if it's interesting because it's been such a struggle. It's been painful. But if you can think about this, that's why I'm so excited to be talking to Ryan about this today, is I bet you that, and maybe you have stats, Ryan, like of the people that are out there trying to serve their communities, that serve their people, their person. I would be willing to bet you that upwards to probably 90% of them are not nailing their message. They're not telling people the problem they solve. Would you agree
I,
with that?
I would agree, but I'd change it a little bit, and I'd
Yeah.
say that most of this 90 or 99 percentile that you're talking about, there's always a chance to refine and define your core messaging. I'm not here to say that anybody's doing anything wrong. What I'm trying to say is that you can always be improving. And I think that one of the mistakes that we make is that we try to explain too much upfront.
Mm.
And if you say, I help you with this and this and this and this and this and this, like your brain just kind of goes, wait, what? That's a lot. I don't know how I can process that. But when you can start with a single problem and you can help people see that they have that problem, Ask them if they have that problem and they agree. And then you ask them if they're going to solve that problem anytime soon and they want to, then it's natural. You can help them out. What does that do? It gets them interested. Now they're going to be interested in what you do. So fundamentally, I'm not saying to change the information that you're saying. I am fundamentally saying change the order. Try to start with the problem and discuss the problem. People are passionate about the problems that they have. They're not
Yes.
passionate about your solutions.
Yes.
Somebody in the chat had asked what the question was. So if you want to play just a little bit of the 313 challenge, can you state the problem that you solve in one sentence without any mention of what you do? And if you drop in the chat, then we can give you a little bit of real-time feedback. But I think the challenge is that your messaging is always evolving. So unless you have that core anchor point or the anchor in the sand, then you're going to kind of drift around. And from a branding standpoint, the more consistent you are at that core, the more you can help people consistently understand how you can solve their problem.
So good. I'm hoping that you guys can really embrace the concept of this, because I think it'll be super helpful. And at the end, we're going to share a way that you could even talk directly to Ryan if you want to. I mean, because he's really good at helping you succinctly pull out the pieces. Once you I call it throwing up on people. Like, when you're so excited about sharing what you do for people. And if you think about it, when's the last time you had to introduce yourself and, you can see that blank look, the glazed look in their, they're like, oh, okay. And they're looking to see who's next, right?
Or
Because
if you're on Clubhouse, you don't see them, but you just
yes,
hear them. And it's like,
yes,
it's interesting to hear people introduce themselves
yes.
and they go, well, hi, my name is this, and I do this and this and this and this and this and this and
Oh
this.
my goodness. The other day I was on Clubhouse, and I won't, it doesn't matter who at all, but it was like 5 minutes of talk about what they do. And I was like, okay, we kind of get it now. Um, so when it comes to branding though, what are some common, I would call them misconceptions or myths or whatever you want to call them, when it comes to building an online brand? I mean, what are some of the things that people run into most frequently that you see?
I would say, I'm just going to make this up now, brand whack-a-mole, where your assets look different on different platforms, and you've got different profile pictures on different places, and your title and LinkedIn doesn't necessarily match with your bio in Twitter, and there's these inconsistencies. So I think that's the biggest challenge that I see when people are trying to kind of reclaim their online brand. And then the decision of what are you going to sort of lead with? What are you going to be known for? I think number 3 is a magic number. That's why there's 3 blind mice. That's why there's 3 little pigs. That's why there's 3 bears. That's why there's all just 3 in general, I think is easy to digest. So a simple branding challenge is if you can take all the things that you do, all the things that you identify with, all the things that you want to be known for, can you narrow that down to just 3 of them to start with? I'm a blank, blank, and blank. I like blank, blank, and blank. It just keeps it digestible, and it leaves some in the tank so that as you're getting to know people, they can get to know a little bit more about you. And I think that from a branding standpoint, you want to be known for solving a particular problem. And if you are creating what I call brand crumbs in the form of content, and you're just kind of all over the place, then you're spreading out your brand so thin, nobody's going to really know you as one particular specialty or as having one particular specialty. So how do you avoid that? You start from the beginning. I think a lot of people do the right things to build their brand, creating content, being consistent with content, compelling content, sharing your stories. I think intuitively we know this, or we can just Google it. But one of the mistakes that I made is that I did the right things in the wrong order. And that's important, because if you go and create blogs and create videos, but don't have a home base or a website where people can learn more about you, and on that website, if you don't have a long form bio, which actually kind of gives your backstory, you're missing an opportunity to relate to people. And so I created all kinds of content way before I had a website, and that was a huge mistake. So I think that when it comes to branding, people, when you're creating content, you're doing what you should. But when you really take a step back, and Kim, you could speak to this, when you're more strategic about your content, it's
Yes.
not just about going live stream on 5 different platforms. You found a technology to invest one moment in time that's spread out. And I think that concept of just not having that narrow focus doesn't help people get to know you or get to know what you do.
Absolutely 100%. So I had my first speaking gig this, let's see, what is today? Today's Monday, Friday, I suppose it was, in forever. So like I haven't, as you know, you're a
Just the
speaker,
cobwebs off, right?
right? It was like, so I forget, I even forgot my phone charging cord because I'm so out of practice, right? But a lot of times people come to me for social media help, and this was no different. They wanted me to talk about, social media and branding. And, in the context of the conversation, we ended up talking way more about branding on the front side because you don't even bother with social media if you don't have that. So to your point about doing the right things in the wrong order, that's super important. Like you need a home base. That's your real estate. That's where you direct people. Like, all this stuff that we do on social media, if we don't have a place that we own that we can start to direct our people to, and or attract them in other ways outside of social media, you know, it's a problem. So trying to do the right things in the right order and consistency is super super important. And then looking the same in all the places, having some consistent brand colors and same photos, and you don't have to do it all at one time. So if you feel like you're a little behind the curve, just start doing the things.
And I want to chirp in on one thing that I'm hearing, which is I hear people in their mind going, "Well, I'm not there yet," or I'm not sure if I'm as polished, or I'm not sure if I have all the accolades. I don't think I have the expertise yet. And there's this sense of like, do I fake it? I want to be a speaker, but I'm not speaking yet. So do I say I'm a speaker? And I think that one of the biggest things when it comes to building a brand right now, especially, is authenticity, that big buzzword that people sort of throw out and that we know about. But if I can leave everyone here with one aha, it's that people don't really care about your story of success. You may think that's the case because everybody shares their story of success, so you just assume this is what we share online. I think people care more about how they see themselves in your story. And if you are going through the branding process and you're starting and you're having struggles with it, or you're not sure exactly what to do, even sharing some of those feelings along the way is going to help people see you as a real person behind that brand. And my book, Ditch the Act, is really about ditching that act. Don't try to fake it. Put yourself out there as who you are and let people understand that this is a journey. You don't just flip a switch and all of a sudden have a brand. It's something that grows over time. I've been actively working on building my brand for like the last 6 or 7 years, and it's evolving and it's going through a process. But the moment where I decided to let people behind the scenes in that process and show them that I'm not actually perfect is when all of a sudden you can hear the exhale. Oh my gosh, this guy's almost a little bit more like me than I would have thought. And wow, I relate to you on that. And oh, I connect with you over here. So as you're building this brand, don't feel like you have to slap up everything and make it look perfect. Your ability to share that process is going to be a big part of what defines your brand. You don't just want to flash in the pan it. This is a long-term project.
So good. So if you didn't like soak up every one of those words from the point where if I can leave you with any aha moment at all, to hit the rewind after we're through and listen to that again, because such golden nugget in that message. Because for those of us who are recovering perfectionists, there you go, ditch the act. So my book, Will the Real You Please Stand Up, is all about authenticity. And, how do you show up and be authentic? And I think my book came out before there was so much focus on the inauthenticity. where everybody puts up their filtered photos and everybody thinks things have to be perfect. But that's a whole other layer now that we're up against that we battle, I think, daily. So I love that you said that. So awesome.
And we're in COVID, we're all now in each other's rooms. So we're not like, you see some of the most predominant figures and you're like, oh my gosh, that's their house, right? So there's this sort of veil of sort of the veil has been lifted, right? It's
Well,
really about seeing behind that green curtain.
even that, I just had a conversation with a gal the other day, and she was talking about she was reluctant to go live because her house doesn't look like some of these houses that she thinks other people live in. I'm like, girl, if I turned my camera around, like it's not
Like
nice
what
over
you're seeing
there.
all around here,
Exactly. I mean, we live in our home, and the only time it's really clean is the day the cleaning lady comes. It's one day where the house looks nice.
well,
But
we all
most,
share this box. We all share
yes,
these boxes now. This is the
yes,
new. And the more you can represent who you are, the less you have to fake it, the less
yes.
anxiety you're going to have, the less stress you're going to have, the less FOMO you're going to have, the less all of this stuff. It's hard, but it's worth it.
And the more people are going to be attracted to you because you're not showing up in this perfect world, right? So good. I want to dig into the 313 method a little bit more. I know you talked about it a little bit, you gave the questions and stuff, but can you share this is your method for helping people get to a place where they can succinctly talk about what it is, how they help others, essentially. So can you just explain it a little bit in your words?
Sure. The process is the reason for the name. So the 313, it stands for the fact that as a result of going through this process, you will be able to explain what you do in 3 sentences, in 1 sentence, in 3 words. So there's a process in which you go through it. It's almost like you're following a board game, and there's particular steps that you take and they all build upon each other. So in the basic, you're investing this time and going really, really wide and exploring creatively to find what those core nuggets are that then you can build upon. So the first 3 sentences is the first sort of approach to start the process. And it comes by answering 3 seemingly simple questions that are very difficult to answer. What is the problem that you solve without any mention of what you do? And that's so hard because you are so ingrained with just saying, this is what I do. If I ask you, what is the problem that you solve without any mention of what you do, most people still tell me what they do. And so breaking that paradigm in your mind and just identifying the problem by itself. Then the second sentence is what your solution is. And the limitations on each of these questions is what helps it make it powerful. Can you explain your solution in just 1 sentence? You can. If you don't think you can, it's because you're confusing the question of what do you do with how do you do it. Okay, if I ask you, what do? You should be able to tell me in 1 sentence what you do. If I ask you, how do you do what you do? That's hard to explain in 1 sentence. And so sometimes I think there's this disconnect where someone will ask you, what do you do? And you take a deep breath and you explain to them how it works. But the logic behind here is if somebody asks you what you do and you just tell them what you do and then stop talking. And if they're interested at all, the next question they have is going to be, how does it work? And now you're involved in a conversation. So the first question is, what is the problem that you can solve for them? Second question is, what is your solution? And the third question is, who's your target market? Now with the target market, oftentimes I'll ask people and they use 2 words pretty consistently. My product is for anyone who, or my product is for everyone who. And so can you explain your target market without using the A word, anyone, or the E word of everyone? And that really makes you narrow this down to people so they can see themselves as your market. When you are for everyone, you are for no one. Okay, so those are the first 3 sentences. What is the problem that you solve without any mention of what you do? What is your solution? And who's your market? And with those 3 sentences alone, you can actually explain your business. You can engage in dialogue. Because the reality is that the more you talk, the less people listen. And the less you talk, the more people can ask questions. And when they ask questions, it creates curiosity, it creates connection, it leads to conversation. So as you use those 3 sentences as a cornerstone for conversation, you will say less and people will be more interested because they're able to talk and not just listen to you. Once you have your 3 sentences, the 3 part, then you can combine them into one sentence using mathematics. There's 3 elements: problem, solution, market. And you can rearrange those in 6 different ways. So if you can clearly identify your problem, solution, market, you can explain it in a sentence. Like, I solve this problem for these people by doing this. Or, I do this for these people solving this problem. It becomes a single sentence. And once you understand your problem, solution, market, and you use math to put it into one sentence, you can get creative and say it in as few as 3 words. Think of me as a craftsman of communication, or a black belt of branding, or the keel for your messaging. The 3 words, don't think about it as 3 words as much as 2 things. Thing 1 related to thing 2. Because our minds work creatively. And if you put together 2 objects or 2 things or 2 people, your brain tries to find the similarities and put them together. So the 3 words is really using metaphor and analogy to help people create what it is that you do in your own mind. Okay. Kim, we went through this process. Do you want to share what your 3 words?
No, can you share it? Because I still am struggling with this. It's not that what we came up with wasn't good. I just am struggling. And I think this is just going to be a habit. Do you find that people have to get to a place where they have to repetitively say it before they are? Is it that my habits are so bad, which I think is what it is, that I haven't created a new habit with being able to succinctly say? So
No, I think
you
it's.
remember?
I don't think there's anything bad that anybody's doing. I
No,
think
I
it's
know,
just
but
that,
I'm just saying it from my perspective. I feel like I have gotten so used to doing it the wrong, whether you say
oh,
it's
no, it's
wrong
not the
or the
wrong
bad
way.
way. Yeah,
Okay,
but
watch. So let's do this for an example. And if
yeah,
anybody's watching, you can do this. Take your arms and just fold your arms. Okay.
okay, I
So
can do
for
it.
those of you who are watching, just take your hands off your keyboard, get
Uh-huh.
out of whatever window, and just fold your arms. Okay. Now take your hands out and fold your arms the other way. You would like this, like how do you get cut? Okay, so it's very uncomfortable. Okay,
Yes.
so I actually went back to my normal. So
Uh-huh.
fold your arms well, like you
Uh-huh.
normally would do,
Yeah.
and then fold them the other way. And
Oh, gotcha.
it
Oh,
feels
yeah,
very
that's
awkward.
very awkward.
You're like, what is this
Yes.
arm sticking in here, and why is this doing? Like, I just
Yeah.
feel weird.
Yeah.
So
It feels weird.
the reason why when you fold your arms, you fold them a certain way is because that's the way you've always folded them. And if you fold your arms the other way, it's
Mhm.
technically the same thing. It's just on the
Mhm.
opposite side. You're just not used to it.
Yeah.
So we're so used to folding our arms the same way. We're so used to saying what we do the same way. We're so used to being asked the same question. It's just our nature to fold our arms the same way every time.
Yeah.
Using this
So true.
method and really looking at your core messaging is just like folding your arms in the opposite way. It's going to feel weird until you do it enough to where it becomes natural.
That's where I'm at. I still feel weird. Like I've not quite nailed it. And part of it is I don't feel like I've quite nailed it. But I'm so excited because my CMO is actually in the comments too, and I'm like, we got to go through this process. Like, we got to make sure, based on what we've already done, all the work we've already done, does this match up? Um,
It's really a good filter at the end of the day as well, right?
yes, yes, definitely. So, I know branding is so huge right now, but if you could give some advice, like for people to really show up and be authentic and relatable, like you said, authenticity is such a buzzword. Everybody throws it around, but I think relatable is a little bit more of a kind of my buzz phrase these days, because I think that, to your point, people need to be able to see themselves in us. So, how do people, in your opinion, give people some ideas on how is it that they can show up and be more relatable to their person?
So I'll give you 2 specific strategies, maybe 3. since 3 is such a magic number. Number 1, get an idea of what you want to be known for and ask other people what they know you as. Because my definition of a brand is not just what you want to be known for. It's not that easy. You can't just say, I want to be known as this, therefore everyone will know me as this. It just doesn't work. On the opposite side of the fence, people who know you, people who see your content, people who find you, people who hear about you, people who are meeting me for the first time, you're probably going to Google me. You're probably going to have your own perception of based on what you're seeing. Okay. You think about me in a certain way. Now, is that my whole brand? No, because you don't know me as much yet, right? So when it comes to branding, you have what you want to be known for and what other people think. The real connection where I think a real brand lives is where they are united. When someone out there thinks of you as a speaker and you want to be known as a speaker, then there's this magical moment where what they think you are is what you want to be known for. And so those are the little magic intersections that you want to know. So a really fun exercise, and this is outlined in the book, and I include this in workshops, and you can get the information of how this particularly works. First, you decide what you want to be known for. You make a list. You put it on Post-it notes. Then you go out there and you ask people, your friends, your family, people that know you, your coworkers, people who don't know you as much, and say, hey, based on what you know about me, what do you think about me? How would you describe me to other people? And you'll get different answers. So on one side of the fence, let's say you put all the things that you want to be known for on a yellow Post-it note, orange Post-it note. Then what everybody else says, you're going to put them on individual Post-it notes here. So these are the two sides of your brand. It's when they connect that it's an actual brand point. So you gather what you want to be known for, you gather what everybody else knows about you, and then you match them together, and you'll find people already know you as a certain thing, and you already want to be known as a certain thing. It's easier to convince people of something that they already know. And so when you do this exercise called the rapid reflection discovery process, you can then find the one core personality trait that you want to be known for, that people know you for, your what makes you human as far as like a hobby that you want to be known for, and then professionally what you do. And so starting with that exercise of knowing what you want to be known for and what other people think, it's a great starting point for your brand.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You took a breath there, so I thought, okay.
You're coming to save me.
Anyway, go ahead. Can finish up.
So you've got these core traits of what you want to be known for, and that's the start. Not just what you want, not what other people think. It's where that combines. Then now the next step is you can create what I call a long form authentic bio. If I go to anybody here, if I go to Kathy or Deb or Angela, if I go to your LinkedIn or if I go to your website and I find your bio, does your bio read like this? I'm awesome at this. I was awesome at this. I'm a badass at this. This is when I won. Here's another award that I won. And this is when I won again. I'm a winner. Typically, we default to a bio that makes us look badass. And that's really an opportunity for you to include some of the moments in life where you learn based on things not going right. So a long form authentic bio kind of documents your history as you've gone through the ranks. And when you can share stories when things went wrong, and then you can uncover the learning lesson from it and how you've changed as a person, you start to share your experience with people. And I believe that building a brand is all about sharing your experience. It's not about reinforcing your expertise. If you just say, I'm an expert, I'm an expert, I'm an expert, you're going to be the little boy who cried wolf, and you're trying to tell people that you're an expert. If you share your experience and share your experience and share your experience and say, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is what I learned, and woof, I wish I learned that earlier, but this is now a core part of who I am, it gives you more opportunities for people to connect with you. Mm-hmm. So understanding your core 3 brand traits and then actually incorporating them into your bio. Like if I go to look at people's bio, I want to know about them. I don't want to know about all of their awards. I don't want them to say that they're an expert. I want to see that their experience shows me that they're an expert. And the third thing is just consistency. So many people go, oh, I'm going to do a blog, I'm going to do a podcast, and they start and they stop. Yes. So define that core brand as a relationship of what other people already kind of know about you, and then give them an opportunity to get to know you so that they can decide if they like you or not, and then they can trust you, and they'll want to be part of your community, and then just show up consistently, like years and years and years. It doesn't just start and stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's just from a consistency standpoint, that's definitely, I mean, I've started my personal brand, I want to say, 11, 12 years ago,
Well,
just
you already
throwing,
had it. You already had it
yes,
before that. You started
yeah.
to participate in it.
Yes, yes. So that's a great point. We all already have a personal brand. It's just a matter of whether we stand on it or not.
Well,
Whether we
it's what other people, it's the
think of us.
information that other people can find out about you.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you're not contributing to that information pool, then you don't have any control over your brand. So when you
Yeah.
participate in the narrative, when you start to document and showcase, that's when you start to own it, to control it.
Mhm.
And not just the good stuff, when you own the bad stuff as well.
Mhm.
You look
Yeah.
at my bio on my website and you'll be like, oh my gosh, you can't help but get to
Yeah.
know me as
Well,
a
the good
result of it.
Well, the good news is now we're all going to go look because we got to see something that is not the norm, right? So when I mentioned this earlier when we were first getting started about how I met Ryan, and he was introduced to me through a mutual brand that we were working with, to start our new stores. So physical products has been something I've been wanting to do forever. I just didn't, take the leap, etc. So when this brand approached me to do a store, Ryan had already worked with them, so he already has a store. But he basically took something as that was already a part of his brand, and he morphed it into a store. So, do you want to tell that story just a
Yeah,
real quick?
real quickly.
Yeah.
So I've been drawing stick figures for 6, 7 years consistently. And initially it came off of a challenge from Tony Robbins. He challenged me to do one thing every day that takes 10 to 15 minutes, but no matter what it was, to do it every single day. And at that time, I was trying to figure out what to do on social media, and I was just confused. Like, what do you post? I've always drawn stick figures. I have a unique history with stick figures. And so I decided I will draw a stick figure every single day. And I've been doing that. So if you look at any of my channels, they're filled with stick figures. This last year, I was turning 40 years old, and I was planning on having a big old 40-year-old bash. But obviously with COVID, it was not a good idea. So I canceled my birthday plans, and I decided instead to invest the time and effort and money into a project that I just needed an excuse to do. So on my birthday, I launched stickfigure.store. And it's an e-commerce site where I'm taking motivational stick figures and putting them on mugs. And I've created a new type of product called motivational mugs. And the idea is that, and actually I can bring this up real quickly here and show you a little glimpse. But it was my pandemic project. Let me see. Here we go. Change to this camera.
Yeah, it was
Here we go.
actually, you got it. I was going to
You
pull it
got
up
it.
too. You
Yeah,
got it.
so motivational mugs. So these are mugs that I just take my stick figures and draw. I've got a whole series that I'm doing for influencers. But the idea here is that this is something I enjoy doing. I like being artistic. But the idea is, like, how can I incorporate this into something positive instead of not having my 40th birthday? So the whole commerce store actually supports 3 charities, yes, 3, that I'm passionate about supporting. So it's a passion project. It's something that fits within my brand. And when I have a stick figure that really takes off on social, I can just convert it into a mug and it becomes a motivational mug. So there's all kinds of opportunities to create something. Here's another little tidbit. Creating content is not hard, but it
Yes.
takes time. So you confuse time with effort because you only have a certain amount of time. So you've heard this before, but when you create content and invest time creating content that you enjoy, then it's not hard. And the time that you're investing is actually something that you enjoy doing. I enjoy drawing stick figures. And so it
And
helps to
he's,
stimulate my creative brain. We
yeah.
all have things that we do. How can you incorporate the things that you enjoy doing into content?
And I think he's pretty darn quick at it. So we're going to test this theory. So some of you know that I started my own store too, Kim.store. Very simple. I love Ryan's brand, the whole stickfigure.store concept. So we're going to create or Ryan is actually going to create a design, and then we're going to put it on a mug, and then we're going to give away that mug, 2 of them today, to those
And
who
we're
have dropped in
we're
your
gonna do
aha.
it real time, and this is I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here. But I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna share with you my screen of my iPad, and we'll kind of show in real time how this can be created.
All right.
So first, we got to think of the quote, and then we'll draw the image. So when you start with the quote, it's got to be short. And what is something that you have either said or a chemism, something that you're known for, an idea or concept? And the first thing is, how do we package this into words? What's something that you tell people often?
If you don't value your time, neither will others.
Okay,
I
so
frequently say, serve, don't sell. I'm just thinking about this
ooh,
in the context of,
serve, don't sell is kind of good.
yeah,
So we
and
could do
that
serve.
the concept though, I was like, what could somebody pick up their mug every day and feel like they need that message?
Okay, so your time, like it's about time, like
Yeah, like if you don't value your time, neither will others. There's a lot, like it's a little longer quote, but I succinctly narrowed it down. If you don't value your time and talents, neither will others. Stop giving away your time and talents and charge for them, kind of thing.
right.
But serve, don't sell is super easy. And I think that's a great message in the context. If you get up every day and you think about it in that
Okay,
context,
what about this? What about this? Drink coffee, serve, don't sell. Something about like we could tie in coffee. So like uh
any ideas, y'all, just drop them in because this is real time. We're having a creative brainstorm
okay,
session.
it looks like somebody likes serve, don't sell. Actually, so I could imagine something to where we have serve, and then at the bottom it could be don't sell, and it could be somebody with an actual, like somebody that's serving coffee versus somebody that's selling coffee. There could be kind of the difference there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, the connotation is, to wake up every day and not see dollar signs on somebody's head.
Right.
A lot of times I think when we're marketing
How about
on,
this? Wake up to serve, not to sell.
I don't know, does that sound a little cheesy? What do
Kind
y'all
of
think?
does, yeah. And what's fun about this process right here, this is
Yeah.
it it takes so much work to condense something down to its core parts. And this is like
Yes.
this is very
So we're
analogous to coming up with your core messaging.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of serve, don't sell. So Deb says, I like serve, don't sell. Serve, don't sell. Rhonda said, serve, don't sell. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
the
let's
concept
see.
is,
Serve. Let's see. Serve. So I always think of like visual. I'm like, okay, we could have serve up here and then don't sell down here. So let's say we could do
it's all about the service, in other words.
serve, don't sell. Okay, so now we've got this as kind of the baseline, right? That kind of has a nice. Would you put a comma after serve, or you just do period like that?
I don't, yeah, I think,
How about that? Just serve, don't
yeah,
sell.
serve, maybe make serve. What do you think? Should it be bigger? Or I think it's okay. I think
Yeah, I think it kind of has a nice flow.
yeah, yeah, I think so too.
All right, so now let's see. We're gonna create a new layer here, and we could do something to where I don't know. We could almost do like a big coffee cup, kind of something like this, and we create a little 3D sort of element here, so that we're going along here, and let's see. I'm almost thinking that we could have you sort of jumping out of the top of this, where we're going to give a little bit more space here. We're going to move this up, and we're going to use this down here, and we're going to bring it down, create the space. And then maybe we have another layer here, and we put, this is you. Let's see, what's your hair looking like today? We've got a little bit over here, and then this kind of, oh. So it's all coming together here, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna,
Deb's like, don't forget the glasses.
oh yeah. Okay,
Because
and
they're definitely a part of my brand.
yeah, they're gonna be red glasses too, by the way. Okay, so let's go back to here and let's put you in the cup. And then we're gonna do a little cleanup here. So it's a little there and there. And let's see, we can actually just kind of have you coming out of the coffee like this. Oh, there you are. Let's get some those eyeballs and a happy face. Let's get to the red. Let's see, these glasses are, those glasses are a bit dynamic. Let's see, they've got a little edges to them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then let's clean this up a little. Oh, because it goes behind. Oh, is that on the same layer? It is, so we got to be careful. We're going to go here, get the glasses going back. Okay, then we'll get the glasses out of your hair. Okay, we're looking good there.
Uh-huh.
And then let's see. We want to move. I'm going to combine these down here, and we're going to move just all of you up a little bit so it's not on that don't sell and serve. Actually, watch this. I've got an idea. We're gonna take this and we're gonna move it up, and then we're gonna take the serve part and we're gonna move it in here and we'll shrink it.
Yeah, and Angela had an idea with social icons spilling out of the cup.
Oh yeah, okay. So let's see. Let's do another layer here. Let's get black, and let's do, okay, name a platform. What do you think?
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay. We're just gonna do one at a time. So
Yeah.
Facebook, I think,
Yeah.
kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay, then Instagram. What is it? It's almost got that now.
Yeah.
See, they're always changing their thing a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Twitter. See, can I draw a Twitter bird? That's the question. Head, beak, this, wing. No, that was kind of, let's see. Here.
Or LinkedIn. I mean, any of the LinkedIn
Okay, then we'll
representation over on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What else? Facebook, Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
You've got that kind of like,
Yep.
I don't know. I guess maybe I do the wavy hand. Okay, and then what else? Any other platforms that you're on?
Pinterest.
Pinterest. All right, what does that look like? It's a.
Let's see. Pinterest is just a P, right? Let's see. It's got this. It's circle. It's got the P is on the inside of a circle.
Okay, we can maybe come back and fix this later. So there's Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use, coming out of your hands here, you're going to have these little circles, and we'll go, these things will come over here. This goes over here to Facebook. Maybe this also comes down here over to LinkedIn. Maybe this comes out of the coffee from over here and comes all the way over here. And maybe this Twitter bird is feeding this over this way. Yeah, that's looking kind of cool, right?
It's looking kind of cool, right, y'all? This is super cool.
This is the serve, don't sell mug. And so you are sort of your own, you're putting out there what you want to sell, and you could essentially have any of these things that come out be your sort of service. So we're getting there. Any other comments, any other additions that we need? Anybody else want to see anything else in here?
Yeah, just drop it in, y'all. I mean, this is real time. And by the way, hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn, but you're doing this for other, I mean, if you want your own mug, you do this, right? For others? Like you
Yeah.
have influencer
Well,
mugs?
I'm launching a stick figure drawing contest coming up soon because I just feel like the more you're creative, like a bad stick figure is still a good stick figure. Oh, I see that we need some eyelashes, so we'll do that
Yes.
for sure.
So yes,
Um,
I'm known for the eyelashes
okay,
and
well
the
that's important.
glasses.
That's important. Let's get in here and let's. I don't know if I've done stick figure eyelashes, but I'm willing to try. Okay, so let's see. I would say maybe if we do
You
something
may
that's,
have to make the glasses bigger at this point, huh?
you know what, maybe. Let's see. Okay, if I can make the glasses a little bit bigger because they are kind of oversized glasses.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so then let's get rid of this little thing here, and I think we could do something that's like on the top of the eyes. It makes you look tired, actually, right there. Over here, over. Whoa, that makes you look angry. It's amazing what the
I
eyelashes will
know,
do.
right? Yes. There you go. Uh,
That's kind of cool, right? And then
that's kind
actually
of
watch
cool.
this. We'll try to indicate that they're glasses by doing something like no, that looks like you have a scar on your face.
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
But that definitely has that brings it a little bit more light there, right?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Is this cool or what? Now, most importantly, you guys got to remember we're giving away two of these today. So Ryan is going to put this up on his site, where we can put it, and hopefully he'll let us put us on mine as well. But I want to give traffic. I want to drive traffic over to his store because I think you guys will love some of his designs. So definitely go check out stickfigure.store. And Ryan, tell people where they can connect with you, and more specifically, like how they can book a call to talk to you about your 313 method.
Yeah, so you can find me online at ryan.online. So you can just go there. That's an easy place to go. And when you're on my website, if you just click on the 313 tab, then it's going to bring you to understanding more about what the 313 does. I've got videos for you. I've got an explanation about the values, more videos, all this kind of stuff. Oh, hey, look, who's that? That's you, Kim. Well, you got a podcast here that you can listen to. And then you can actually book directly on my calendar. I'm doing a special where I work you through the 313 session for only $313. That's a pandemic pricing that I've been helping people out with for throughout the pandemic. But the idea here is that if you want to find me, Ryan, then just if you want to find Ryan online, go to ryan.online. And the 313 tab will help get you an ability to work directly with me, and we can tease out this messaging. And then if you want to go to my stick figure store, it's actually stickfigure.store, not a .com, but a .store. And so you can check out, I've got all kinds of cool mugs here, and you can actually learn a little bit more about me and actually my history with stick figures as well, because I've been drawing stick figures since I was a kid, and it's interesting to see how they've played throughout my life. So yeah, find me at ryan.online if you want to work with me in the 313. Kim can attest.
Yes.
It is a very interesting, challenging, and insightful.
Uncomfortable, but in a good way.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I mean,
There are buzzers and there are
uh-huh.
bells, and we have a good time really getting down to the core of really the problem that you solve and how you can communicate that in a way that gets people interested in what you do.
Yes, absolutely. So, our mug winners today are Katie Simpson and Christina Dennis. So, we'll get those out to you. Well, obviously, we'll wait for Ryan to get it up on his site, which will not take long, by the way. What you just saw, he just created something, and if we won't wait on it, but it literally would take him 5 minutes to put this up on his store and have it ready in mug format for us to order. So, if you are one of the winners, just go back, hang on, let me pull it up here, just make sure I got it. Here we go. Go to kimgarst.com/winner and give us your details. We'll get the mug ordered and to you guys as soon as we possibly can.
Now, Kim, I need to take a screenshot with you in the mug here. So you just need to look
Okay.
forward and smile. Okay. And then we'll
Okay.
take a screenshot. There we go. All right. That.
Had to fluff my hair and all,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Well, I can add a couple little more, a little bit more, and I can add some more fluff there if you need to.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just being funny. But you guys have been such an awesome audience. Thank you guys so much for being here. Ryan, thank you so much for sharing your genius with us and giving us all the details on, and not just, talking it, but you gave actionable things that people can go back to their desk and work through. I encourage you guys to do it. Definitely go get Ditch the Act. I don't have a copy yet, but I'm going to get one.
And there's plenty of stick figure drawings in here as well. So you will find stick figures everywhere in here as well, because it's all about keeping it simple, connecting, right? Keep it social. There we go. Keep it social.
There, keep
But
it
really,
social.
I
Excellent.
think we all intuitively know that when we say less, it allows for more engagement. But it's so hard to say less because we have so much that we're excited about sharing. So I can
Yes.
help you think of it as like a tuning fork for your personal brand, right? We boom, hit it, we listen to it. Boom, hit it, we listen to it. So
I
again,
love it.
it's
Such a
just about
great
taking
phrase.
how awesome you are, positioning it into the problem that you solve, and giving you some core messaging that you can then build upon so you do the right things in the right order.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thank you guys for being here. Those of you watching on the replay, thanks for spending the time with us. Take care of yourselves and God
Well,
bless.
well,
Yes?
if
One
do we
more?
need to cancel? Because I can wrap this thing up real quick because we know
Oh,
about the
yes.
3-1-3.
Wrap it up.
Okay, so we talked about the 3-1-3. I'm going to give you 3 fundamental rules. First rule is I don't care what you do. You see, I've got problems and so do you. You won't get me interested in explaining minor pain. You got to solve your problem in a finger chop way. Rule number 2, you talk too much like a giddy little kid on a yellow school bus. Start with the what, not with the how. Make it conversational and learn to shut your mouth. Rule number 3, create intrigue. Talk about your target market to the nth degree. Tap into the FOMO of the person who is listening. Say anyone or everyone, and you will be less interesting. The goal of your pitch is for them to want more. Don't miss opportunity knocking at the door. First, you state the problem. Then you say you solve it. And don't forget the market. Woo!
Boom! Mic drop. I gotta learn a good skill like that. Oh, that's so awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.